I've left it open today. I simply asked group 1, group 2, group 3 for the collectives and allow the universe to give us the message that we're meant to receive. So we have group 1, group 2, group 3. If you need longer to take a moment to see which pile resonates with you, then take that moment now, pause. Otherwise, let's start. So we have group 1. So group 1, we have the animal cards for you, show me. And we have the Chihuahua. It says, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? It requires you to ask the question, who am I? So the Chihuahua is someone that is quite controlling. There's a couple of cards from a standard deck of cards that I would connect to the Chihuahua. The biggest one being the Joker, which is all about control. So the Chihuahua is somebody that can be quite defensive. So when it doesn't feel like it's in control, it will attack. It will be defensive, will be aggressive. So that's the energy that you're kind of sitting in at the moment. But the who are you is the question, kind of, this behavior is not really who you are. It's coming from subconscious ideas about self. For example, let's say you have something going on. There's a lot of pink in this card all around the head, and there's a lot of green around the back and the feet. So let's, for example, say this was around healing the heart chakra. So healing the heart chakra would mean that you have had a closed heart chakra, that you have had difficult experiences, and those difficult experiences have left you quite emotional. So, sorry, you tend to work from a place more of reaction when we're going through healing of the heart chakra. It means that the heart is being opened. Little by little, it's being opened. But the thing with the heart chakra is, any of the chakras and the healing of a chakra, is that as you're experiencing the healing, there will be emotions that are coming up through you to be able to heal. But what happens many times is these emotions that we have held in us, that we have been wanting to control, and our control so far has been to suppress, to ignore, to avoid. So what happens is you end up being in this very egoic place because it's all about emotions and how you feel, rather than from your true self, which is light, which has no worry, that knows it doesn't need control, which is why you're being questioned, who are you? So yes, you are coming from a place that has had a lot of emotional trauma. And yes, that was difficult, because emotional trauma is bloody difficult. It's difficult. I mean, it's the most difficult one to get out of, emotional trauma, because we hold on to it with everything that we have, and then anything around us dictates how we respond, because we're always working from this emotional place. It's interesting because I've just seen a 9 in this card. I did say it's the Joker. I know it's a few of the cards, but I do see it as the Joker. But now it's also showing itself as the 9. You are the Joker because of the 9. You're experiencing this need for control because of this rucksack of emotions. And as long as this rucksack of emotions is not being looked at, as long as it's being avoided, as long as it's being suppressed, it means that you're not able to deal with the emotions that you're experiencing. And there will be, like, somebody could say, for example, you look really nice today, and you'll be like, I don't every day. It's like it's not wrong to say that, but it's kind of like, it's defensive to say that. It's like, so do I not normally look nice then? Why today do I look nice? And I don't normally. No, nobody said anything about anything to do with any of that. All someone said was, you look nice today. That's a thank you. That's very kind of you. But anything else that comes out is pushing that away. And that was just a random example. It could be anything that somebody says. But the way that you respond with this Chihuahua energy will be quite aggressive. And that aggression is coming from, like I said, because of that rucksack of emotions that are on the back, you tend to react. And also because of the controlling energy, because you would like to control the things that go on around you, how people act, how people speak, what people do with their lives. You want to fix things around you, but you can't fix things around you. All you can do is work on self. So this reaction, this joker, this rucksack of emotions, they are not self. Self, well, true self, who are you? Energetic self has none of them worries. It doesn't have this rucksack of emotion. It doesn't have judgment. It doesn't have the need for control because it understands that flowing is where everything is working, not controlling. So this is like you connecting to your energetic self so that you're able to let go of this illusion of self, this self that has this rucksack of emotions. And one of the ways for you to deal with that would be to look at the emotions and to stop suppressing them, to stop avoiding them, to stop hiding them. When we are hiding, suppressing, avoiding, as much as we think that we can't see them in that moment, that's exactly what our focus is on, because you cannot avoid something without thinking about it. It's like I'm avoiding a hole in the road. I need to be looking at that hole in the road to know I'm not going to go in that hole in the road. I cannot avoid it by looking the other way. Looking the other way is going to likely make me go into the hole. So the idea is that you start looking at this bag of emotions. You start looking at what you're feeling, what you're thinking, and you really start listening to yourself, because the who are you, like I said, there are two different parts of us. There's the human part, there's the energetic part. And when we're only working from the human part, we're in a very egoic place. We're in a very kind of fight or flight place, or paralysis. We're in this place of wanting control of everything, wanting everything to work the way you want it to work, but we don't have control of that. So as long as we're in this egoic place where we believe we have control, we're in a losing battle. It is not possible. It's not possible. As much as we want it to be possible, the ego self, it wants it to be possible. God damn it. But it's not possible. It's just not possible, because that's not what we're about. It's not what we're here to experience. We are here to experience it, but we're here to understand that that's not the place that's going to give us the abundance. It's not the place that's going to give us insight. It's not the place, well, it will give us insight, but not while we're there. It can't while we're there. It can't while we're avoiding. It can't while we're hiding behind wanting not to see something when that thing is constantly there. This does also tell me that you are somebody that is a very protective person, especially with the people that you love. So again, this is another kind of opportunity. I don't know if opportunity is the right word, but again, it's another chance for this egoic self to come out of you, because it's a way that you will see yourself. I am the protector. I need to defend people. I am in control of this. No one's going to get hurt on my watch. So if somebody does, then for you that would be devastating, but you cannot fix everything. You are not in control of everything. And it's really important for you to deal with you and this rucksack of emotions, this rucksack of old trauma that you've experienced that will lead to thoughts that are from that same time, same place, that just keep popping up out of you. So to be less reactive is to start looking at what you have in that rucksack so that you can start throwing it out. You don't need to carry it anymore. You can throw it all out, what no longer serves you, what you no longer need, so that you can connect to that heart chakra. You can connect to opening your heart to be able to receive love coming into you, because that's something that would have been hard before because of this rucksack. So by allowing yourself to look at what's inside the rucksack, you're now helping yourself to kind of spring clean yourself. That's what you're doing. So this is a lot of healing. Who are you is to really look at yourself and without judgment towards self, so that you're able to create these changes and create less reactions by less emotions. And it's not to say that you have to be emotionless, it's just that your emotions don't dictate how you're working or where you're working from. Hope this makes sense, Group 1. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye. Right. Let me drink a little bit of water. Look at the time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Group 2, welcome to Spiritual Bridge. This is your reading for today. I didn't lead with any question. I just allowed the universe to speak to us in whichever way it's going to speak to us, and we will see what is being said. So we have a 2. I want to turn them all. An ace. Wow. It's like 1 to 1 to 1. 1 to 1. Maybe you need a 1 to 1 with self. This might end up similar to Group 1. 1 to 1. And this is a personal growth as well. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense that it's like having a 1 to 1 with self, really looking at self. This is a message of rebirth. It's a message of connecting to source energy, God, whatever you want to call it. The energy, connecting to energy, love energy. And then we have the 10, which is another one. I feel like what this rebirth is coming out for you with is, number 1, to create better connections with source energy, God, again, whatever you call it. I'll use God for this, or universe. I'll use universe. I like universe. I don't know, most people use God, but I'll use universe. It's more expansive in my mind. So the ace is the rebirth. You have had something that's happened in your life that was a bit of a punch, a bit of a kind of a movement on your foundations, because you have had this idea of who you've been for a long time. You would have been somebody that has suffered from depression. You would have been somebody that overthinks and suffers from anxiety. And you would have also been somebody that, the 10 is also about anxiety, but it's also about this idea, this train of thinking that is along the lines of, but what if this happens? But what if this happens? But what if this happens? And it all tends to be in negatives, in lower vibration. It tends to be in negatives. So you're coming from a place that you were an overthinker. You may still be an overthinker to a certain degree. That you would have suffered from depression, and that you do question everything in negative. So if you wanted to go on a holiday, but what if the plane crashes? But what if I have an accident? But what if I get robbed? But what if it doesn't stop? So this is a rebirth around you being more connected to universal energy, God, being more connected. And instead of paying attention to the what ifs that are going on in your mind, paying attention to what the universe is showing you. Because the what ifs are a very mental thing. The number 10 for me is all about you being in your head. The ace as well. It's all about you being in your head. But how do I do this? I can't do this. This is too hard. This is too much of a struggle. I don't even know what I'm meant to be doing. And there's just a problem. And the only focus that you can focus on is the problem. The 2 is here to help you with that. The ace is a message of take a breath. So that would help as well, taking a breath, not allowing the noise to become so dominant that it creates this huge big momentum for you that you get lost in it. Is listen to what your mind is saying, but you don't have to interact with everything that it says. You don't have to have no big conversations with it. You don't have to take everything it says as gospel and that is the truth, because it's not the truth. The mind tells us a million things probably every minute. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but you get me. It talks a lot. And when you're just constantly listening to what it has to say, and you're just accepting what it has to say, that pulls us into the 2, low vibration 2, where we become the victim. We blame everybody for the way our life looks, and we don't feel connected to everything. It's very difficult to see signs and synchronicities. It's very difficult to feel loved, supported, cared for. In the 2, in lower vibration, it's such a low place, because we've literally disconnected ourselves from source energy. And it's not that we can ever actually disconnect ourselves. That in itself is an illusion, because we can't disconnect ourselves. Our energetic self is always with us. But we can stop listening to it to the extent that we just don't hear it. We don't see it. We don't feel it. And at that point, it does feel like a disconnection, like a plug has been pulled out and you're just alone. And everything feels really heavy, and that moves us into the 10, where anything that we will have desires, we'll have things that we really want from life. The 10 is actually a really big desire that you have. You haven't been going after this desire though, because there's a lot holding you back from this desire with the what ifs. But what if this happens? What if that happens? What? It like I said, it doesn't stop. So this is like you had something that happened, you moved into a little bit of a depression about it, and this has created a lot of what ifs for desires that you have moving forward. But what's really happening with you, the truth of the situation, is that you're having a rebirth. That impact that you had, so there was a change. You could have changed jobs. Somebody could have passed away. You could have broken up a relationship. There's so many different ways that we can be impacted to have rebirths. I've had quite a lot of rebirths. And it's different things that create them. So it's just, for me, it's one of them things that it's individual to each of us, because what is impactful to me is not necessarily impactful to you. What's impactful to you is not necessarily impactful to the next person. So whatever created this, what I feel has happened is that, yes, something did happen. And what I feel happened, because this is a 3 and this is a 3, I'm being shown 33. 33 for me is about the universe being there for you. But what I'm feeling from this is that this change that happened was a decision that you made to be truer to yourself. You've seen something in your life that's not working for you, and it wasn't working, and you needed to make a change towards it. That change that you made towards it was to become more connected to you, energetic self, to your creativity, to the love inside of you, to your connection to source. That's what you wanted to change. You took a step towards that change, which was the 4. You took a step towards it, and then you started to go into your what ifs. But what if it doesn't work? And what if it was a waste of time? And what if I'm disappointed? What happens if it never comes? What happens if I'm not inspired anymore? I don't feel motivated anymore. I give up. What if? There's so many what ifs that can come. So this is like you wanted to be closer to your true self. You took an action to be closer to your true self. You started with the doubts that came up, and now it feels like you've gone to the ace. This scenario for you created you to move into a rebirth. The ace is the rebirth around you creating these changes, to be firmer in this decision, to be firmer in how you feel about yourself, how you feel about where you're moving to, how you feel about your decisions, how you feel about what you're capable of doing. This rebirth is to give you a deeper connection with yourself, a deeper connection with source, a deeper understanding that you are not rigid, that you are malleable, that you can change, you are adaptable. There is no stuck. There is just moving and changing. There is no stuck. So these two are kind of the rebirth and you making a connection, re-plugging yourself in so that you've created the foundations for yourself, and from them firm foundations, you can then see what's going on around you. You might see number synchronicities. You may be watching a program and it feels really relevant to you because of whatever's going on in the program makes so much sense to you. It's like a personal message for you. Even though this is a collective reading, I don't make them in a way that it's a collective reading. Yes, I ask at the beginning when I'm shuffling the cards for the cards to come out, I ask for the collective. But as I speak to you, I'm speaking to you as an individual. As an individual. I am speaking to collective because I know more than one person's going to watch this. But I am speaking to you and as an individual. And it's the same as watching a television program, listening to music. It's speaking to you as an individual for the message that you need to hear at that moment. It could be seeing animals that remind you of something or that pass on a message for you. It could be anything. We're spoken to in so many different ways by the universe. It's like, don't limit yourself to how you receive messages. If you've watched me before, you'll see sometimes I look around and I've got my kitchen cupboard in front of me here. They can talk to me. They're like wood, and the pattern of the wood, something may come out of the wood, not literally because it's not literal, it's a piece of wood, but it can speak. It speaks. The universe speaks through it. The universe can speak through. The other day, the scissors spoke to me. There's just so many different ways that we can receive messages. Don't limit yourself in how you're able to receive the messages. And know that through this rebirth, your connection to source will be so much firmer than it's ever been before. That feeling of love, that feeling of being supported will be more than it's ever been before. And it's not from outside of you. It's from within you that you're now going to get it. That's what this rebirth is about. It's about you stopping looking outside of yourself for people to give you the answers, for people to make you feel loved, make you feel wanted, make you feel special. This is about you giving that to yourself as you walk forward. And then we've got the 10, which is, so as you walk forward with the firmer foundation, with the connection to source, so you ask for what you want, you have your connection to source that shows you what is coming along the path, and then your desires are there. This is your desire. So the desires come without you getting in the way of the desire, without you being resistant towards the desire, because you're doing all the work to get there. This is like, yeah, it's like one-to-one. It's like having some really deep conversations with self so that you're able to really go beyond the illusion of what's been created in self. Because the illusion of yourself has been walking forward with the idea of you are a victim and that you are, you always got lost in seeing the problem of what was around you and wasn't so focused on the clarity of what is there. But when you get lost in the problem, you cannot see clarity. I'm going to give you an example. You know, if you're talking to somebody and you think of somebody or you think of a song and you're like, oh, what was that song? What was that song? What was that song? And you just can't remember the song to tell the person. And it's just not there. It's not there. You know the song, but you just can't get it at that moment. It's exactly the same principle. When we have a problem, we know the answer. Our energetic self knows the answer. But if we're not listening to the energetic self and we're only listening to, I don't know, and focused on the problem, then we're only hearing the problem. We're not hearing the solution to the problem. We're not able to receive the help that's being given. So this is really about you really looking into yourself, questioning yourself about, okay, so it's very similar to number one, this, because I was going to say, who am I? Which is the card for number one. This is really looking at yourself and questioning who you believe yourself to be and who you actually are. It's really interesting because we've got 1 and 2, which is 12. We've got 1, 2, 1. And then this 10 card is also 12. It's got 10 clubs in the middle, 11, 12, which is a 12. So we've got 12 again, which brings us back to the 3 of what we started with. This definitely feels like something that you are... It's like you're working on being able to bring out your true self. You're working on being able to bring out yourself without a mask, without a veil, without something covering you and needing to worry about how other people feel about you or think about you or what they'll say about you, because you are becoming, you're planting the foundations, you're sorting out the foundations so that you don't get lost in the I am amazing. I'm great. I am really good. I'm a creative. I am actually a genius. The 3 is a genius. The 3 is somebody that is receiving information and gets all these insights to be able to create change. And the most difficult thing for you will be to follow that instinct towards self without arguing about it, because that 10 will get in the way and the 2, the victim, will get in the way. These ones will get in the way, but this rebirth is asking you to move forward, being honest with yourself and only yourself. Only yourself. If it does not feel good to you, it means you're disconnected. It will only feel good to you when you're connected. If it feels uncomfortable, that's different, because uncomfortable means you expect to be uncomfortable. You can imagine a baby coming out of the mother. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's been in this nice, warm, loving space for 9 months. And all of a sudden it's come into the cold world with lots of noise and light. It's not going to feel comfortable. So when we're moving, it doesn't feel comfortable. If you are feeling comfortable, that's where there's stagnancy. Yeah. Hope this makes sense to you, group 2. It's very beautiful. You're doing a very good job. Well done, well done, well done. It's just this overcoming self at this moment, overcoming your own ideas of who you have been and allowing yourself to become who you're becoming. Beautiful. Great job, group 2. I look forward to seeing you again. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. Bye. Right, group 2. Let's drink a bit more water. Welcome, group 3. Oh, one of your cards turned up. Group 3. I didn't ask any questions today. I just left it. The universe will speak to us however it speaks to us, and we will move from there. So, group 3, you have the 7 of diamonds. Let's turn the other one as well. And the 5 of clubs. So, the 7 of diamonds, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The 7 of diamonds is a message of perseverance and patience. And the 5 of clubs is a message of balance. The perseverance and patience is around career and finance with the diamonds. And the clubs is personal growth. I feel like what's happening for you or with you is that on this 5 card, there are 9 clubs. I feel like what's happening with you is your emotional self, this rucksack of emotions, which is the 9, is getting in the way of you manifesting finances, house, a job. It's something to do with money, to do with something physical, because the diamonds are to do with something physical. It could also be a child. The diamonds for me could be a child, a job you already have, starting your own business, buying a house, studying, traveling, or getting married. There's more that it could be, because I mean, there's many physical things. You know, buying a car, it could be a million different things. But these are like the big things. So the 9 is all about these emotions that you carry. The 7 is perseverance and patience. You put the perseverance in because the 9 itself is an extremely independent person, and it will put the work in, because it knows that it has to work to be able to get the results it wants. The problem with the 9 is that although it will put the work in, it's always resistant. There's always this tug of war, because as much as it puts the work in because it's independent, there's also a lot of resistance towards it because it doesn't believe in people. It doesn't believe that people, the 9 is somebody that believes that people will hurt them. They will lie to them. They will cheat on them. They will steal from them. They will be dishonest, be disloyal. It's that type of thing. So when you've got the 7, which tells me that you have done a whole heap of work into getting this thing that you really want. You've done a lot of work towards it. Well done, you. Lot of work towards it. But what's missing here is the patience. The patience that allows it to come to you. We can do lots of work, but we have to trust in the universe bringing our manifestations to us. It's not us going out hunting everything. No, we do need to do work. We need to put energy into what we want. And then the universe gives us that. So you have you do the work. You're very good at doing the work. But the patience and the allowance of it coming to you, you don't have so much of. And the reason that will be is, again, because of the 9. Because you had to work for everything you have. Or that's how you feel about it. Everything that you have, you've had to do by yourself. Like I said, you're extremely independent. You haven't wanted to ask for help before, and you don't particularly want to receive help. If someone asks you, can I help? You're likely to say no. I'm all right. Thank you very much. So a way to get around this 7, because the 7 leads us to the 8, yeah? 7 leads us to the 8, which is the manifestation. After all the work you've done, you're receiving the manifestation. So the advice to you is the 5. Balance. Bringing yourself to a balanced place. Knowing that everything is kind of a revolving cycle, no? Give and take, give and take. Your giving is the action that you're doing. Your giving is the focus that's being put into what you're manifesting. Your giving is the energy at which you're putting in to receive this manifestation. That's all giving. The receiving is the allowance of it to come to you. And for that, we have to be in balance. If you're looking at the 7 in a way of, but what do I need to do? I've done so much already. How do I get out of this? I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, and it's still not working. And I don't know what I need to do. I don't know what I can do. I don't know. I don't know. When you get to that place, that's a really frustrated place. It's it's a lower vibration place. And it doesn't feel good. You feel irritable, you feel frustrated, you can be quite aggressive sometimes, because when we're frustrated as a whole, it's an aggressive energy. So it's also seeing your world as though what you're putting all this energy into is not there. Not a truth. It's what you're telling yourself, but it's not a truth. When you're telling yourself things like, but where is it? I've done all of this and I'm still not seeing it. You're so focused on seeing it in the physical world that you're not paying attention to the energetic world that's bringing it to you. But it can only bring it to you in the vibration that you're able to receive it. So if you're in a lack mentality of, it's not coming, when is it going to come? How is it going to come? And not expecting it, there's no expectation of it. There's no enjoyment of the feeling of it. There's only a focus of when is it coming? How is it going to get here? Who's going to bring it? All of that is keeping you in resistance towards it. It's a low vibration. You'll receive it back in a low vibration. It will come back as frustrated feeling. It won't be the manifestation that you've been looking for. It's like we ask for something. I'm always talking about my pole. We ask for the things that we want. And the way that we ask could be from lower vibration. It could be from higher vibration. There are always the two ends of the stick. But the universe is always listening. And if you're asking, and you're asking from the lower end of the stick, but you're in high energy at some point, you'll receive it in high energy. You won't receive it in the low energy. You'll receive it in high energy, which feels good. But it requires you to put yourself in that high energy to be able to receive it in the higher energy. And the putting yourself in higher energy is to feel gratitude towards the things you have already. To feel gratitude to that which is coming to you. To feel gratitude towards what you're creating in your world. To feel gratitude towards whatever it is that's in your world that you can feel gratitude towards. So that you're in a place of love, you're in a place of abundance, you're in a place of receiving mode, which means that the 8 comes to you exactly as you want it, or even better than you want it, actually. Even better than you want it. So, that's your mission for this week, group 3, because you're doing a really good job. You really are. You are putting the work in. It's just from where are you working from? You're working from an energy of things don't really work out for me. But that's not a truth, because if you really look back at your life, you'll see that there are instances that lots of things actually work out for you. And I'm going to give you an example. The other day I was making something, this is about a month ago now, or a bit more than that. And I got my finger stuck in the blender. And everybody was like, oh, you're so lucky that it wasn't the other side of your finger that the blade got stuck in. So I said, I'm not lucky, I'm protected. It's not about luck. It's about being protected. It's about trusting in what is there, trusting that you have all you need. And yes, the blade went into my nail, but I didn't see it as something that was bad. I kept telling my finger, well done, finger. Great job, finger. Number one, because it's on my right hand. So it means I'm using my left brain, which means that I'm more into, which means I had to use my left hand more, which means I was using my right brain more, which is all about creativity. And I love creativity. Thank you, finger. Thank you, finger. But a lot of people would have responded, oh, I need to do this, and be so focused on the damage of the finger that that's all that they would be focused on. what is lacking within it, rather than what there is to be thankful within it. And that's what you're being asked to do. Move towards gratitude. Let go of this rucksack of trauma that is dictating that good things cannot happen in your life, and move to those situations that you can hold on to, that have worked for you, that have felt good to you, and that do feel good to you, and keep using those things to recreate more of that beautiful energy, so that you can flow into your manifestation and allow it to just appear in front of you like a miracle. Yeah. Hope this makes sense, group 3. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. Take care of yourself, and I will see you soon. Bye.